Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Morning, Evil. Morning, Church. How are we doing? So my voice is going this morning. I've got the lurgy. I did a COVID test yesterday. I'm not positive, so I haven't got COVID. Just got a cold. Morning, Linus. Um, so you have to bear with me this morning. I'm feeling a little bit. Bleh. Morning, Baggy. Jules. How are we doing? Happy Friday evening. That's weird. You're in the future. It's Friday morning. Markets have just opened, but you're in the future. Weird. Get well soon. Hopefully. I've been battling this thing for about a week now. But it's just not going. Everybody's got it. So just bleh. Right. Let's start off with yes, I've been through Friday. That's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird? You've had Friday already. You're going out, finish work, and we're just starting. It's very weird. Morning, Blue Trader, Pontevedra. It is raining as usual. Good, always good. Well, not good, but anyway. So we start with the news. Markets have opened, obviously. Clean break long on the DAX this morning. Sorry, the FTSE. Well, not a clean break. It's broken long, but looks like it's rejecting at the moment. So not an awful lot of movement so far this morning. DAX, no pre-market trade on the DAX today. Pre-market ranges were a little bit too small, so I'll be taking the 5-minute opening range on that today. It's nicely sitting within yesterday's high and low. It's quite nice when it opens in the middle because you've got very simple targets to the upside and downside. If it gets hedged, it's really easy to get out. FTSE's a little bit more tricky. Definite downside targets today. Didn't really open with any vigor though this morning. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. If you're watching on replay, don't forget, leave a comment if you've got any questions or anything. Member stream this morning I've changed because we were going to be doing this morning a recap of the strategies we did on ADR reversals and the hedging side of things. The hedging side of things, I've just basically dumped it. It's crap. Doesn't work. So I'm not doing the hedging side of things. It's just useless. So I was going to do this morning Virginia. Damn, so you already know how the markets will move. Evil, that's a very good idea. Jules, what happened today with the pound US dollar? Did it go up or down? You're in the future, so surely you should be able to tell us which way to trade. Excuse me, I am joking, by the way. So what I've decided to do, I was going to do some live trading today, just some scalping on the 1-minute time frame, just going over what we did in the price action side of things last week, and just looking for the price action patterns and just trading those with the price action toolkit. But I just don't think I'm up for it this morning, to be honest. My brain is just too foggy. So what I'm going to do is I've built out the Swiss Army knife EA to use price action. So what we're going to do this morning is just look at price action at high and low of day and use price action entries to see if we can formulate a strategy to just get in very simple risk reward based price action strategies. So I'm going to do that and we'll just basically see if we can develop a strategy using pure naked price action. So that's all built out in the Swiss Army knife EA. So I've got all that down here now, which you can't see because it's off the bottom. But yeah, we've got moving average entry. We've got tweezer, tops and bottoms, and 3-bar reversals. So we'll test those on different time frames to see how well they work at high and low of days. Remember, we've got to take those not in ranges, but at extremes. So it's all programmed to do that. So news-wise today, so that's 9 o'clock this morning. Morning, FTNet. Morning, Georges. So, yeah, this morning we had retail sales. Point three, have you ever had one of those weeks where literally every news event goes the opposite way to what you need? This is one of those weeks. Yeah. Literally, all I wanted yesterday was bearish news on the US. All I wanted yesterday was for Lagarde to talk up the euro. All I wanted this morning was the pound to have negative retail. And I just got totally opposite of everything I've asked for this week. They've just gone the wrong way. So this morning's pound news was positive. We had 1%. It is down, so you'll see the market hasn't reacted massively to this morning. It was at 1% retail month on month. We were forecasting a 0.4 negative. We actually got a 0.3 positive. So although it is higher than forecast, it is still a down tick. So it's still bearish, but not as bearish as they were expecting. So with the pounds this morning, you can see obviously we've had some strength come through in the pound because it's a positive number. So it is pushed up a little bit, but as you can see, it's not a very big reaction. So we actually got a 55 pip move, which is less than half an ADR on pound odd. We've almost at ADR on the pound CAD, so we got 58 pip candle there, which is half an ADR. So we got roughly half an ADR movement out of it. So nothing particularly exciting. Yesterday's financing rate came out at 3.4 as forecast. So Lagarde obviously decided to keep on track, which is normal for the ECB. They very rarely give us a shock. Last month they gave us a bit of a shock because they changed the rates lower than we were anticipating. We got what we were expecting yesterday from Lagarde. And in the press conference, there was nothing much said in the press conference that was shocking at all. It was very much data driven. We'll see what happens. We will probably drop another one more by the end of this year. And that was about it. So I'm just trying to find where she is. Got to go back a bit further. There we are. So that was the press conference. Very disappointing barrier man yesterday, wasn't it? We played the barrier man game when we used to watch the live ECB press conferences. To guess which man, there's usually, you see the security guards, and normally you can guess which man is going to remove the barriers. So yesterday, it was a bit of a different setup. So we had all the photographers coming out and doing their things. The barriers are in place. But we had this photographer running, and then they synchronized the barrier man from both sides and removed the barriers. It wasn't just one man. It was two men, and they were perfectly synchronized to come and get the barriers. So the barrier man game didn't work yesterday. Anyway, if you haven't been in the live rooms for an ECB press conference before, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, so the upshot of it yesterday was business as usual, and Lagarde is basically going to stick to what they're doing, which is gradually reducing interest rates. So the market is factoring in basically about 0.25% by end of year. So one more price drop. Somewhere in here, the market is factoring in a price drop. There we go. 20% chance of a half. Yeah, sorry, a 20% chance of a half point rate cut in December, meaning that it's less likely we'll get a half point cut, which is more likely we'll get a 0.25 cut. So I still think we're going to have another drop on the ECB this year, but because we've overshot inflation, it's likely to bounce. So it's more likely they will kind of be a little bit cautious with that drop. So still bearish for the euro, not bullish. But yeah, very, very difficult to tell with the ECB what they're going to do now, because they've kind of got everything under control. So it's a case of where do you want your interest rates to sit, because you've got control of it now. Other than that, overnight, we obviously had some more stuff going on with Israel and everything. More importantly, I said yesterday in the live room, or rather, I don't know if it was in the live room, but the US dollar yen, we hit the 150 level. I think it was in the member stream I said it. I said, you know, where every time we get above this 150 level, the Japanese start screaming. Yeah, this is their, I call it the intervention level, but it's basically the point at which the Japanese monitor the US dollar yen exchange rate to decide whether it's good or bad in their eyes. So when we get above 150, it becomes more difficult for businesses to make export gains, meaning it's bad for the economy. Yeah. So they like to keep the exchange rate under 150. Every time we get to this level, the Japanese start screaming and shouting and basically saying things like, we are closely monitoring FX movements. FX movements are fast. FX movements are undesirable. Blah, 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 blah. So they came out and said that last night. I can't remember where it was. It's in here somewhere. But yeah, basically they are watching again. So we need to just be aware. If you are trading the yen, be aware that there could be another intervention move coming. I don't know where it was. There we go. No, it's not there. This is more recent. There we go. FX moves have more impact on prices than in the past. I'm watching the impact of the market, blah, 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 blah. But it was somewhere else. Somebody posted it in Telegram, in Discord. But they've said, you know, we're keeping an eye on it. So just be aware of this level. It's a very key level. If I go out, you will see why. Yeah, that is the first intervention that we saw that really powered up the yen. We came back there. At that point here, they started screaming and shouting and saying, you remember what we did last time? Because the markets were long with carry trades. They destroyed them, basically. All the carry trades got liquidated, basically. They said, oi, don't do it. And then we got a little pullback because the markets got scared. They then tried to get through that level again. Japan intervened again. Yeah, we came back to that level and they said, stop it. Bang, big move down. We came back to that level and we screamed through it. At that point, the Japanese basically ran out of ammo, couldn't do the intervention. So we got the second attempt, the first attempt at a new intervention happening then up at the 160 level-ish. And then obviously we know about this one. This is the largest intervention in history, yeah, for the Japanese. So we're back now at the point where they used to scream and shout. So just be aware. There is a potential one of those on the cards. Whether or not it happens, whether or not they've got the ammo to do it, I'll have to wait and see. But, you know, if you're on the wrong side of an intervention move, you're not getting out. Yeah. So if you're position trading long on the US dollar yen, just be careful. I wouldn't position trade long on the US dollar yen, basically. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in it. So just be aware of where we are. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Yeah, but we know the market does get scared at this level because, you know, they have the power, the Japanese, to really liquidate assets and drive the yen. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just be aware of where we are. So that's your overnight news. Other than that, there's not an awful lot else going on. Today, that's it for news. We've got building permits later, which actually are an important news event because building permits equal jobs. So the more building permits are handed out, the more property they can build. The more property they can build, the more materials they need to purchase. Manufacturing goes up and the job market gets more fluid because we need more people to build more stuff. So building permits is actually a good leading indicator that the institutions and the banks use to decide whether or not there is likely to be more jobs created, which is obviously good for boosting the economy, which is good for the currency. So we're expecting that to drop. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's a little bit hit and miss because it's unlike other red news events like retail sales and unemployment, it has an instant impact on the market. If I get given a building permit or I get given or the government gives out more building permits than usual, those building permits could be used at some point in the next 6 months or 6 years. So it's not something that goes, holy crap, they've given out a load of building permits, we need to buy the US dollar. It's something that is a long burner, but it does go into the scorecarding and it is a positive thing. So keep an eye on that. Probably won't do a lot, but they do use all news events to dump liquidity into the market. We've also got Weller speaking later. So that's your news today. ADRs today, the only one we've got is the pound CAD. So big strong push on the pound CAD, potential 3-bar reversal going in at ADR. So watch this one for a potential pullback. Whether or not this is going to hold, we'll have to wait and see. Don't forget we are bearish on the pound now because the inflation number came out way lower than we were expecting at 1.7. We dropped 0.5%. That's a much larger drop than anticipated. We're basically... Was that not 1.8, the euro? I'm sure that was 1.8. When did the CAD get 1.6? Something's wrong with the inflation data. That's not right, is it? Is that right? That's right. When was that released? Am I going mad? That wasn't at 1.6%. Was it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, forget that. But yeah, obviously, what I'm talking about the pound. I'll have to double check that data. Sorry, I'll double check that data now, because yeah, we're at 2.3, but that's the yearly figure. The quarterly figures dropped, which we don't report quarterly, do we? Are there? So that's why. Yeah. Okay, that's right. So yeah, so basically, with the pound obviously dropping inflation faster, we are going to drop interest rates a lot quicker. So my pound CAD short that I've got on at the moment, I am, sorry, not the pound CAD. I've got the pound odd short. Got out the pound CAD one. The pound odd, I'm holding short still. There's no reason why this should not just continue to collapse the pound now. Not necessarily collapse, but there's no reason the pound should really be bearish. Doesn't matter what retail figures say. Yes, they may be bullish and it'll give you a small bullish intraday move, but long term we are bearish now. Interest rates are coming down faster than anticipated on the pound. So that is a good entry short here. So drop down M5, wait for a reversal alert. It's really tight reversal at ADR today. You're also sitting up at a previous high here. So that is the previous day's high. And it's the top of that propulsion move that we had on the news. So good short area here. We're not anticipating making a new high. So good ADR reversal. We've got some weeklies as well. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Isbeth. Morning, JC. News. TR. News has nothing to do with direction. I think you need to join the member streams, mate. What's an ADR? Average daily range. The video, go and watch this video on this website when it loads. That explains ADR, how you trade it. Yes, Euro was 1.8. I know, weird, isn't it? I'm wondering if the data feed's wrong. Because I get my data from Trading Economics website, the place that everybody gets the data from. That's all changed. So obviously my website's changed. But these inflation figures are not. The trouble with inflation, and this is the thing that's always annoyed me about news with inflation specifically. Some countries only report month on month. Some countries only report year on year. Some countries report both, but the market uses the quarter figure. Yeah, that's the one that it looks at because this is the median, if you like, the most recent reading that gives you more indication as to what's going on right now. This can move up and down a lot. Think of it like time frames, yeah? This is the chop. This is your trend. This is price action. Yeah, this is what they kind of focus on. So the figures that I use here are the quarter figures from Trading Economics. So what we see in the news and what we got yesterday, this week from the CAD on Tuesday, was the monthly and the annual. The quarterly, though, is now down to 1.6 because you can see we had a bigger than expected drop last month. Put the previous 2 months of drops together, and all of a sudden you're actually below target quarterly. But that won't report properly until the next annual figure comes out. So it's very complicated. But yeah, it's dropped. Sorry, I'm going all over the place this morning. Head's not in it. So basically, the weeklies that we've got are the Euro CAD. Now, bear in mind it is Friday. So that is your weekly range, which we hit yesterday. So we had a weekly alert yesterday on that one for a long, which obviously has played out nicely today. Also, really nice double monthly lows coming down here. So I'd imagine that that is partly limit orders sitting at the monthly lows. So bearish stance on this one, though, with the euro and the CAD. So this could and will go like that. Probably got slightly more of a bearish stance than bullish, but you know, you can trade this in either direction at the moment. So ADR hit to the downside. You had an RSI extension yesterday as well, both good longs, and obviously the weekly there, which played out very nicely. The euro pound, we are down at weekly lows now. So let me just stick Monday on, which is, it's Monday there. Where are we? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. There we go. So there's your weekly hit there. So we've just alerted on that one this morning. We've just bouldered through the monthly low. So just be aware that we have just broken out the monthly low. Likely that they will buy that back up again. But obviously, as you can see, stance is bearish. However, the pound is now also bearish. So this is just a reaction to the news today for the retail. Retail sales, not as important as everything else. So I think there's a good chance of a long here. But the market really sold off the euro yesterday. Didn't really like what Lagarde said. So they're just remaining bearish on it. So it could go either way, this one. But if you get an ADR out this today, obviously that's a good signal because you've got your extended on the weekly and you'll be extended on the average daily. You've got an RSI extension to the downside, possibly even a 4-hour. Yeah, and a 4-hour. So, yeah, come back up, retest propulsion or previous low. And pound CAD, which we've looked at already this week. That one's already played out yesterday. So that was your entry yesterday on that one. So the RSIs today, we've got Euro US dollar, which is starting to move up now nicely. So we got a lovely rejection yesterday on the news. So we had a big, exactly what we're going to be testing in the members stream this morning. That is a beautiful tweezer bottom signal to go long. So exhaustion at the lows. Great. So that would have been a nice long entry. The entry on that yesterday would have been exactly there. However, if you didn't take the tweezer bottom entry, you would have taken the 3-bar reversal entry and entered there. So there was 2 entries to go long yesterday. Yeah. We're coming up to test the propulsion at the moment, and we've got a 3-bar reversal forming here. But anyway, so this one could go either way. There's no news today. US dollar's not giving up the ghost at the moment, but nice rejection yesterday. So I'm long at the moment on this one. It's an RSI extension on the hourly. It's had multiple signals. You can see we've just got no relative strength at all at the moment on this one. 4-hour RSI extension yesterday. So I took another entry on this one yesterday. So I'm 5 long now, looking for pullback into propulsion. So this one obviously is a bear against a bear. The US are dropping rates hard, so are the euro, but the euro probably less now than the US. So in theory, there's a good chance that we will come at least and test that monthly level, but possibly even push further back up. But it all depends on the US. And like I said, nothing but the opposite news this week. I was looking for negative news on the US this week, and we just got nothing but positive. So unfortunately, even the crude oil inventories went up, which helps the oil price. Sorry, the crude oil inventories went down, which helps the oil price because obviously less supply equals higher prices. So yeah, all good for the US this week, unfortunately. So we are now on week 3 down. So very big, strong move. Unusual to get, even if you get a 3-week rally, there's usually a pullback either coming or inside bar. So, highly likely we're going back up next week. Might even start it today, but we'll see. So RSI wise, the only hourly you've got is the euro pound extended to the downside. So it's not very extended though. So there's no other RSI extensions today. So there we go. That's your overview of everything. For the CAD, if I remember correctly, FJ at least, the expected CPI was 1.8, came out at 1.6. So my head is all over the place today. Yeah, Tuesday. Can we go back to Tuesday? Oh my God. How am I going to find Tuesday in this? Brent. So that'll be Thursday, won't it? UK CPI. That was yesterday morning. We're getting there. A helicopter what? A helicopter carrying the Israeli Prime Minister lands in a secure facility near Tel Aviv. Red news. Yeah. Year on year. That's weird, isn't it? Look. Financial, so they're giving 1 point, previous was 2, forecast 1.8. We got 1.6. Their year-on-year figures are wrong on Forex Factory, aren't they? I'm going to use my own data because my own data comes from the horse's mouth, not through there, which is what Financial Juice are reporting. So, yeah. Basically, all this lot have all got to get this down bloody quick. Yeah, so they are all massively bearish because they're overshooting. And if they don't get those numbers down fast on interest rates, they're going to be in all sorts of trouble. You have to gargle with salty water. It's ugly, but will help. Yeah. No. My throat isn't actually that sore. It sounds like it's sore, but it's not. Maybe you should build in a versioning system in your fundamental data so you can better trace the change. Yeah. Well, I don't really need to because normally this is the same, and it's all here. This is what I can't work out. Why this is so out. I mean, it's really out. Anyway, as basically all my data here comes from the website I just showed you, which is inflation quarter. From Trading Economics. So Trading Economics are kind of a data aggregator. So I basically get all my data from here, and I just organize it in a very nice, easy to understand way, basically, rather than have to hunt around and find everything individually. But yeah, it's all accurate from here. Look. But then, I don't really need versioning because if I do need to know it, it's here. But anyway. Anywho. Morning, Wojciech. I'm never going to say your name properly. Right, so no trades this morning on the DAX. So pre-market range on the DAX was too small. Opening range is too big. So no Goldilocks zone today on the ORB or the SIH, whichever way you're trading the open. So that range there was over 20% of ADR. So not going to trade that. today. There's a very little volume anyway. So if we are going to trade this today, obviously at the moment it looks like we've got a propulsion gap holding for a long break, which you'd be looking at testing yesterday's high, but watch the high of the week, the previous high of the week before the news. That was a news spike. No, it wasn't actually. That was the open of New York yesterday. Sorry. That was yesterday's New York open. They basically just ran the highs and there was no demand up there. So so watch that if you're going long, but there's just nothing happening today. It's dead. No movement. FTSE, I'm long. Targets on the FTSE. First TP, which is 3R, is in propulsion. Second TP is actually high of day yesterday. So I'm just going to move that down slightly. Beautiful 3-bar reversal there. That's what we're going to test in the members stream today. We're going to look at basically just getting in on that and versions of that at higher day. Yeah. So whenever you see that kind of price action at high of day or low of day, we know there's a high probability of exhaustion. And incorporating that with ADR 80 and ADR 70 as well for intraday scalp plays. That's the sort of thing I'm going to be testing today in the members stream at 9 o'clock in half an hour. So that's it for today. I've got nothing much else to cover. If anybody's got any pairs they want to look at, let me know and we'll have a look at some pairs. But everything's kind of just sitting around at the moment. It's been a bit of a weird week for movement this week. I've banked well this week. Well, not actually that well. I'm up 1.3. I can bank more. I can bank another 1% at the moment. Actually, yeah, I didn't go over my trades yesterday, did I? So yesterday, all I did yesterday, banking-wise, was US dollar CAD. So I closed out that position and that position. Remember, I had those two on. I closed those out yesterday on the news. So we had that spike on the news yesterday, which took me out. So basically, I put break-even stop and trailing stop on the news. If the news went my way, happy days. But it didn't, so it stopped me out. So I banked 1% on that. Obviously, I added that one back on again. And if we rally up, that's where I'll obviously get into a second position again. So it's just a case of just adding same stuff back on again while the market's just doing this and just banking while it's sitting there doing bugger all. But that's all I banked yesterday. So it's just a tough week this week, as you can see. Yeah. Not going anywhere, have we? We've had a lot of news this week, an awful lot of news this week, but not an awful lot of movement this week. Yeah, very little, a lot of up and down, but, you know, flat as a pancake. Look at this. I've been in this thing now for 2 weeks. Yeah, so we have one news event. That's it. It's just, look at the contraction in this. Look, last 2 days and the 2 days before that. Yeah, just no... It's just not moving. Nothing's moving at the minute. Market's dead. Market's scared, I think, at the moment. There's a lot of stuff going on with the elections and obviously what's going on in the Middle East. But, you know, New Zealand dollar Swiss, total sideways. Everything's just really dead. Pound US dollar. Yeah, we've had news event and we've undone the news with the news today. ADR. So, yeah, just a dead week, isn't it? Just not gone anywhere. We've gone somewhere on news and that's it. That's the lot. Euro odd. We'll have a look at Euro odd. So coming down into propulsion on the Euro odd at the moment, which is also the previous week's low. Is that the previous week? Yeah, previous week's low. So basically where we opened last week. So we had 2-day rally last week and then sat around inside. So coming down to a nice support area. If we get an ADR on this today, you could take 30 RSI on the hourly on it as well. You'll probably be extended if we get down there. Don't forget there's no news catalysts today, so it's going to be very hard for the market to actually find anything to dump a load of volume on. So it's just going to be normal price action all day today, but that's where I'd be looking for longs. I mean, from a fundamental perspective, this is a short, so you really want to be ideally looking for shorts. So as you can see, those are the trades that I had on in the last couple of weeks. So if we get any movement upside, obviously continuation of market structure short. So ADR hit to the upside would be ideal today, but it doesn't look like it's wanting to do that. So bias on this, obviously, euro continuing to drop, bearish yesterday with Lagarde's comments. Australian not changing interest rates at the moment, inflation too high, so they are kind of neutral to strong. So bias is short. Sort of contraction M pattern short. So I suspect we'll probably break out that low at some point, but doesn't mean it's not going to do that for the next week or two. It's just not going anywhere at the moment. Elephant in the room, US dollar CAD. Yeah, is at the minute. It's just parabolic. It will come down. It's just we're just waiting at the moment. A lot of people will be longing this at the moment on a flag break. So whether or not we have bullish momentum or not, we'll wait and see. But the trouble with this pair is obviously they're both bear. So it's just obviously we've had that rally and that we had weakness on the CAD mixed with US dollar strength at the same time, which obviously pops it, doesn't it? So what is that? I don't know. $2 Timu undies. I don't know what that is. What is that? That's a really open question. What is that? It's a chart? An indicator? I don't know what you're talking about. Can the trend pullback strat on the MRA EA be done with the PTEA? Can the trend pullback strat? No, because it hasn't got a trend filter in the position trader EA. The reason I excluded the trend filter from the position trading EA when I rebuilt it was because I didn't find an edge using trend filter in mean reversion. There is none. There is none. I can prove it with the stock in with the Swiss Army knife EA as well, JC. Yeah, I mean it does. If you use the position trader EA, yeah. If you do not a position trader EA, the market reversal alerts EA. If you do a test on the market reversal alerts EA, and just use control points, can't see, can you? But yeah, just use control points to do your testing, and use the moving average filter. Yeah. And then do the same test again and remove the moving average filter. You'll find very little difference because the type of trades that we are taking, if something's trending, they work. If something's not trending, they work. If we only take the long trades, you miss the mean reversion shorts. Yeah. So with trend strategies, trend filtering, yeah. But with mean reversion strategies, what you end up doing with trend filtering, when you add trend filters into mean reversion strategies, is you end up filtering out any profitable shorts. Yeah, because you don't take them. Because if it's above the moving average or the moving average is pointing up, whichever way you use trend, you just won't make any money on all the short orders you would have done. You'll still make money on your long orders, but you would have made money on your long orders anyway. So what you're doing is you're filtering out profit. So the ones that didn't work as shorts, yeah, are turned into position trades to make them work anyway. So with position trading specifically, moving average filters don't actually add any benefit. If you're using a stop loss based strategy and you run a test with your strategy and you find there is a bias long or short on it, profitable, adding a moving average filter to confirm that bias is good. But other than that, that's why it's not in the position trader EA, because it's just another thing to add that you'll never use. The strategy that I have on the website for the trend pullback strategy, is nothing wrong with it. But it's the same as that strategy. It's just you're filtering out some of the trades. The momentum, the position trading methodology works. Yeah. So filtering out some of the winners isn't beneficial. Doesn't make any difference. What you do tend to find with a trend filter is that the trades that you do take only in line with trend work faster until that happens. Yeah. So if you're taking shorts only, yeah, when that happens, you're going to go into drawdown anyway, because the trend is not going to last forever. So at some point, you will get to a point where this will be wrong. And then you'll suddenly go long. And either that trend will work or it won't. If it goes into that sort of price action, what you're doing is you're going, and this is the downside to trend filters. It's probably better to show you on a chart. Right? So here, let's use the 72, right? So here we are saying we're going to go long only because we're green. So we take a long there and it works out. It pulls back, we take a long there and it works out. Pulls back, we take a long, works out. Long works out. Long doesn't work out. We position trade that until we are out of it. Tick. But now we go short only. That doesn't work out. Why? Because we're range bound. Yeah. So at that point, your moving average filter screws up everything. So it helps you here, but it makes you miss that trade, that trade, that trade, and that trade, because you only took that trade, and that trade. I'd rather have all of them in my bank rather than half of them. And when we get to this situation, it doesn't matter which way you trade, you're going to make money anyway. But what people want to do is go, yeah, but look at the US dollar yen. Yes, it would have worked there. Can you tell me in the future if this is going to trend up or down? And if you can't, that ain't going to help you. Because what's happening in the future is nothing to do with the past. This is going to either now go back into an uptrend, unlikely, or it's going to do more likely that, which is what we've just seen on everything else that we look at. Yeah, that's what the market does. Goes up and down all the time. Spends 20% of its time trending. Why apply a filter to filter out 80% of your trades? It's nonsensical. Which is why we're mean reversion traders, because the market spends 80% of its time in mean reversion. But you know, you can test all this with the market reversal alert CA. Just do it on control points so the testing is faster. Hong Kong 50, I don't trade that. Winnie, thanks. So taking a long reversal in a longer term, so taking a long reversal in a longer term time frame uptrend does not help. Super interesting, as every textbook ever written suggests it. Exactly, Wayne. Exactly. Thank you. What do 95% of traders do? The same thing. What do 5% of traders do? Lose. Why are they all losing? Because they're following the same bloody textbook. Yeah? You won't make money doing what everyone else does, because what everyone else does doesn't work. I can't really prove the point any more than that. Trend trading does not work. I do not know one successful trend trader. Not one. I've never met one. Theory is great. Oh, you just buy every dip. Yeah, that's fine as long as the trend's going to continue. But when you buy the dip, the trend isn't going to continue. Why? Because it's dipping. It's coming down. You're buying against the momentum. Yeah? This is the other trouble with trend trading is I've done a video on this on the website. If you go, it's probably better just to watch the video. But I'll post it in here in the chat. God, I've done a lot of videos. These are the important ones, though. There we go. Mean reversion versus trend trading. Yeah, this just explains really why it doesn't work. Because the problem with trend trading is by the time you've identified a trend, yeah, a pullback in a trend, you've missed it. Yeah, For you to make money on this, you have to rely on that trend continuing after you've missed the move they've put in. The move they've put in has been caused by fundamental shift. Fundamental shift changes every time there's a news event. So by the time all the fundamentals have lined up to make something start trending, you've identified it too late. It's already happened. Yeah. The other problem with trend trading is, with trend trading, to get a positive R, because the strike rate is somewhere between 30 to 35% typically, all trend trading strategies, everybody that does trend trading strategies, it's very open. Strike rate is only ever going to be that. Yeah. So to make your strategy profitable as a trend trader, you need a minimum of a 3R to 4R return, which means that when you get in on the pullback and put your stop loss there, you need to move that far to get back to break even on the trades that you've lost trying to get into the trend. As you can see, that you would have done on the US dollar yen. Admittedly, 6 months it would have taken you, but you'd have got there. It's not a fun way to trade, is it? I'm getting into a long. Look at this week, right? With everything intra-week. If you had entered a trend pullback on the news, well done, you're in. You've been in all week. You haven't moved anywhere. Whereas I, as a mean reversion trader, have pocketed $1,000 on it so far this week. And I will just keep trading it all the time as it moves up and down, because that's what it does. It moves up and down all the time. The market just does nothing but moving up and down. There is no trend there. Yeah. Oh, look, it's trending. Brilliant. Let's go long. Oh, shit. I've identified there's a trend. Too late, mate. You've missed it. It's gone. You should have got in here. The start of the trend. That's how you make money. I got in as this thing started to trend. The people that get... This is one of the things and it's so clear to me now. I found a document years and years and years ago by a very successful trader. And it was basically, the whole premise of this document was to answer the question as to why is it, and this is the question every trader always asks themselves, why is it every time I get in and press the buy button, it goes the other way? Why does it do that? And the answer is very simple. Because you have identified what price has just done, and you are expecting it to continue to do it. But it won't, because it's done it. What the market actually does is move up and down. So every time you identify the market's moved up, you want to buy it. You need to do the opposite. You need to mean revert it. You need to assume that because you've missed it, the next thing they'll do is continue it. If they're going to continue it, they're going to drop it first. Like this. Like that. That's what it does all the time. Every time it goes down, it goes up. Every time it goes down, it goes up. Every time it goes down, it goes up. Best way to trade is identify when it's gone down and then go up with it. Yes, you're going against the trend all the time. And that trend, some people will say, look, it's trending down. Is it? Brilliant. We'll jump in short now then. Let's see what happens. You have a 50% probability of that either doing that or that from here, because either the trend will continue or it won't. It doesn't matter whether you identify a trend or not. When you press the button, the odds are the same. 50-50. Yeah. If you have a fundamental bias on something, if that was bullish and that was bearish, you would say, I will only take short trades. And you would go in line with the fundamental expected trend, not the trend that you're seeing on the chart, because that's already happened. There is nothing that predicts the future. So, but I've proved all of this with testing. Yeah. I've got this, we're going to be looking at this in more detail this morning in the members stream, but with the Swiss Army knife EA, if I reset that and just, is there a way I can just get in? Let's do that. No. Don't think that'll work. Oh, yes, it will. Should do. Let me try it. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work or not. What I'm trying, but we'll see. Let me just set a standard 1-1 risk-reward ratio. Let's go with half an ADR. Let me just see if this trades first of all. So I'm just conscious of time. Yeah, so he's getting in. Right. So this is basically generating a random distribution of trades. It's basically going, hey, is it the high or the low of the day? Yeah, okay, get in. That's it. It's all it's doing. Completely random, just saying, let's get in long or short, right? We're using a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. The end of this test will come out with either a 49 or a 51% strike rate. Maybe 50, don't know. But it will come out somewhere in that range because we're flipping a coin. That's what you're going to get. Yeah, it'll go down for a while we have an unlucky coin flip. We call heads every time and it comes out tails 10 times in a row. It will go down. But eventually I'll call heads 10 times in a row and it will come back up again. Because I'm using a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, the only thing it can do is not win or lose in a random distribution. If you apply a trend filter to that, if it would go back, it doesn't make a lot of difference because yes, it's been going up, but when you press the button, the coin flip is still in existence. So it will either continue to go up by half an ADR or it won't continue to go up by half an ADR. The 50-50 random distribution is still there. And that's what you do when you apply a moving average to your trades. This is not a good example because I'd need to run a full test to prove it in full, but I'm just trying to find my trend filter. I've got so many inputs in here. Moving average trend filter. There we go. So let's just apply a daily 20 to it. So we went down to 98. Now you will get a different result here. It will give us a completely different result because we are now going to take trades in a different direction. Yeah. But the outcome is going to be very similar on the long term because we're using a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So when you apply a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, you will find that it will completely destroy the risk, the 50-50 on it, won't it? Because if you're saying get me out with 1R and get me out with 2R if it goes my way, your strike rate is not going to be 50-50 anymore. It's going to drop. The trend filter doesn't help that. Look, I've applied a 10 trend filter. I've said, okay, let's go randomly long with the trend. We're not making any money because the random distribution and the odds, the probabilities of trading are the same, regardless of whether you use a moving average or not. We've got a session planned on this called probabilities of trading in the members streams, which is going to prove this exact point. That's why I've removed the moving average filter. There are strategies that will benefit from adding a moving average filter, trend strategies, but they are a lot harder to make profit and they are long-term strategy because you will have a massive losing streak on them because you're trying to get in on a guess with a higher risk reward. The higher the risk reward, the more difficult it is to make money. If I change the risk reward on this down to 0.25 for my take profits, that will have a massive difference on the equity curve. I will have a higher strike rate of trades. Yeah. But I will also lose twice as much. So again, it's not necessarily going to make me more profitable. Why is that not updated? There you go. So yeah, I can make more money. Again, everybody out there, like just in Vitaly just said, and everyone is screaming, trend is your friend. Yeah, of course they are, because they're selling you a course on trend trading. They're not going to say it's not, are they? But it's the same with anything you're going to hear in trading. Everything you hear in trading is based on analysis of past price action, which has got nothing to do with future price action. The banks and institutions move this thing up and down. What are they going to do today? What is the differential in short orders and long orders in the 10 major institutions that drive the Forex market today? Unless you know the answer to that question, I don't care what strategy you're using. What's going to happen is it's going to go up or down based on that distribution of orders. Yeah. So every strategy has to be based on probability of market movement based on bank and institutional order flow. Otherwise, you can't make money in this market. And the best way to measure that is using the relative strength of a move, because we know that after the moves have completed, they profit take those moves. We take that profit. That's what we do. But yeah, see, it's not making any difference, is it? So I'm using a lower strike rate, but the random distribution is still the same. It's still long or short. It's 50-50. But now I've put the odds in my favor, which means I'm going to win more trades. So the strike rate on this will be above 50%, probably. 68%. I've got a profitable strategy, everyone. It's 68% strike rate. Hey, guys, I've got this trend trading strategy, 68% strike rate. Check it out. I'll find you a period in time where it worked beautifully with a lovely equity curve and you can test it. Yeah. That ain't going to work long term, because every time it loses and it gets a losing run of 10 in a row, that's going to hemorrhage every piece of profit you made and some. But strike rate's good. Strike rate's got nothing to do with making money. Using a positive risk reward ratio has got nothing to do with making money. Like Vitaly's just said, everyone is screaming trend is your friend. Everyone is also screaming you have to have a positive risk reward to make money. I don't. I have a negative risk reward ratio and I make money because I trade in the way that makes money with negative risk reward ratio. It's got nothing to do with trend or anything. But you can apply it as a filter to certain strategies to make them more profitable. But at the end of the day, it is all random, isn't it? At the end of it. So just looking at this pound odd before I go. Yeah, so it's starting to pull back. So that pound move today is mean reverting back to where we started. So again, it's a knee-jerk reaction. It might get bought up, but I suspect more likely we'll undo that and come out the lows today. Anyway, I've got to go because the members stream's going to start soon. Look at the 3-bar yesterday, or 3-bar low on H1 on the FTSE. Yeah, perfect. There you go. It's exactly what we covered in the members stream with regards to price action. Perfect. At lower day. TP about to get hit on the FTSE. So clean break, long FTSE. DAX is also clean broken, but obviously didn't take that one today. So TP1 hit. Not going to do it, are you? Fine, I'll do it myself. TP1 banked. So nice clean 3-hour break, and 5-hour target for me is below lower day. It's actually not even 5-hour now. It's probably about 4.5, just shy of 5-hour. So higher day, watch for a run up to that high of yesterday. However, obviously you've got the New York session sells from yesterday, which have held. So this could well be the add point for the short players from yesterday. So watch for a pullback here and then potentially a leg up or a reversal, one or the other. We don't know because it's a 50-50 chance. The Japanese trader key is a profitable trend trader with its KTS strategy. Is it? I don't know. Church, send it to me. I'm always happy. This is what the member streams are all about, is testing strategies. Yeah, I want as many people to send me as many strategies as they find that are profitable. If they're profitable, I will build an EA, I will stick it in there, and I will prove it profitable. If it's profitable, you can have the EA. Brilliant. If it's not profitable, I'll show you why it's not profitable. But I'd love to see it. I have found trend trading strategies that work. I've got a trend trading strategy that works. Yeah, my S&P 500 RSI pullback works when the S&P's trending. The S&P ain't trending at the minute. Hasn't been trending for a good couple of years. So that strategy has failed over the last couple of years because it doesn't work in range-bound markets. With Ichimoku Kinko Hyo, yeah, that's a fun indicator, isn't it? Yeah, I've been down the Ichimoku route. It's tricky. Too many indicators. Yeah, people always say use as few. Well, I don't know. You should use as few indicators as possible. One condition indicator, one signal indicator. That's all you need to trade. Ichimoku has 3 condition indicators built into one indicator. So that one indicator has 3 times more indicators than it should have when you start using that one. If you add more to it, you're stuffed. But if someone's making money with it, that's great. Everybody's got to make money somehow. Doesn't matter how you do it, does it? Do you use US or UK time zone for high of day? You use the high of the day. There's no such thing as a time zone. It's a price. This is the high of the day. Yeah, that's where the market opened, pre-market. Well, I mean, on Forex, whatever. I mean, there's no such thing. High of day is high of day. It's not time zone related. The market opens at 10 p.m. UK time around the world. But if you're in New Zealand, it won't be 10 p.m. obviously. But the market opens at the same point. Everybody on the planet takes the same tick as the open. All brokers do the same. Well, they should do. Some don't because they want to screw up even more. Trends really only work in long term on indices. Yeah. Very good on indices. Right, I've got to go because it's 9 o'clock, member stream starting. So thanks very much, everybody. I'll be back on Monday. Nice clean break today. So in the members stream, which will start in 5 minutes, a little bit late today, we're going to just look at automating price action reversals at high and low of day with the Swiss Army knife EA, covering what we did in price action last week or the week before, whichever week it was. So we're just going to see if we can build some strategies out just using pure price action. Very simple. Can't get it wrong. Can't misconstrue it. It is what it is. Yeah. All right. So I'll be on there in 5 minutes time. If we're not coming in there, I will see you hopefully on Monday. Have a good weekend. And yeah, try and shut as much as you can just in case it all kicks off in the Middle East. All right. Have a good day. And hopefully I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.